Om Shanti. I'm very happy to be here and more happy that we're going to share something about how to be constantly cheerful. And in the world when there's a market-driven economy, everyone says service with a smile. And we have social conditionings. We do that as part of our business, as part of our working strategy. But Baba has given us the understanding that this is the time for change. Today's Murli, morning Murli, Saka Murli, Baba was talking of the drama, the eternal drama, and how he makes us aware that this is the time for change. This is the time when he has come specially for us to make us more pure, more powerful, more positive. And what does he do? He just makes us aware of our own reality, what really we were, what was our real identity, what we were and what we shall become. That's what Baba has told us. When I was looking at the meaning of cheerful, it's not just being glad or happy, but it also means being optimistic, being willing, being compliant, non-resentful. So what does drama teach us? And drama teaches us to be happy. Because what Baba says, past is past. What has happened, we cannot do anything about it. Most of the time, people have self-pity. What Baba has changed within us, he has even shared in this season's Murli, that it is the self-respect. Baba has given us so much self-respect, so much that if we keep making a list of it, it would require enormous effort to put everything in writing. And Baba even inspired us that for different times of the day, we should have different self-respect to churn. So the most fundamental change which has happened in us, that we have become aware of our true identity. We have become aware of the time through which we are passing. And then also Baba has made us aware of our own glorious past, self-respect. I am Master Almighty Authority. I am godly student. I am the companion of God. I am the combined form. If we churn on each one of the self-respects, then the amount of happiness and stability which brings within us, that is enormous. But the big question is how to be constantly cheerful. There are depressing times, there are frustrating times, there are painful times. How do we really become cheerful, happy in those situations? If we see the world around, I would say it is a sick world. There's so many problems, there's so many difficulties, there's insecurity, there's recession, there's the graph of crime is increasing, people are not trustworthy, we cannot rely on anyone. So all this puts pressure on us, and particularly for all of us who have to balance between work and spiritual service. It has been seen that work is the place where people feel maximum stress. And these days they talk of burnout. What is burnout? Which means people feel exhausted emotionally. They have no hope in life. So the situation is entirely different. But Baba has put us on a different pedestal. We are in a different world, and He's our word. That's why I sometimes wonder, the understanding is very simple. The first basic lesson which Baba has given us, that our true identity is that I am a peaceful soul. I am Master Almighty Authority. I am the children of the Supreme Father. And this is what we really need to know about ourselves, the true identity. And it's like, it's the first and the last lesson. As a child, I used to wonder. There's a story in Mahabharata that the Guru Dronacharya, who was teaching the Pandavas and Kauravas, one of the lessons was speak the truth. So next morning when the Guru asked all the students, the disciples, that have you remembered that lesson? Have you practiced this lesson? Have you really understood that lesson? Everyone said yes. But Yudhishthira said, no, I haven't understood this lesson. So next day again the Guru asked. Again the answer was no from Yudhishthira. And it was several days after several days, Yudhishthira says, yes, now I have understood. Practicing speaking truth is different than knowing that we should speak truth. That's why they say, truth is higher, but still higher is truthful living. There's another Chinese saying that if you want to be happy for a day, go to the barber. He'll give you good massage. If you want to be happy for a month, get married. But if you want to be happy for whole your lifetime, be honest. So we need to be honest with our own self. The whole Brahman life means that we can deceive the whole world, but we cannot deceive our own self. This is what we have understood. Whenever we check our chart and whenever we check our progress, Baba also says, I cannot know your heart, I cannot know your mind. I am not Antaryami, I am not the knower of your thoughts. We know about ourselves, how far we have progressed. If you look at the word of cinema, people can act so well these days. But I was just realizing, even if we are in a situation which is not so happy, but if we pretend cheerfulness, even if we are able to practice cheerfulness in that time, we might have to make effort. But that also brings good results. If you are cheerful, at least the people who are around you, they get inspired by your cheerfulness. But it is always better to be light. I feel one of the most important thing, if you want to be constantly happy and cheerful, we have to be light. That's what I have observed. We always say the let go. Being the pressure on the mind always makes us gloomy. The pressure on our mind also makes us thoughtful. And when we are in a way when we are thinking too much, then what would our face look like? It won't be cheerful. Baba always says, give your burden to me. Why do you make effort? He always says, mehnat nahi mohabbat. We need to be loveful, not making hard work of our relationship with Baba. That's what he says, be light. I am there for you. Even if you once speak from your heart, Baba, I would be with you. But you need to speak from your heart. The relationship should be based on love. It's not we have, okay, Baba would help us in times of distress also. But if we constantly make him our companion, then probably we would always remain light. If we want to remain light, we need to understand there are many things which are not within our control, what they call circle of influence. We cannot change others, but we can always change our own self. Sometimes we try to control others. We try to say, oh, this person should change. Then probably the things would become easier for me. But we need to leave that for others to change. We need to give them time and space to change. Sometimes we feel we are responsible. We are responsible for Baba's service. And then also we feel burdened. What Baba says, Karan Karavan Har. He's the one. We just shift the responsibility to him. But we should make our effort. We are responsible instruments of Baba. But we should increase our ability. We should become worthwhile that Baba can trust us. When Baba speaks to us, we should be ready to listen to him. That effort we need to make. Rest of the things he would take care. He is Karan Karavanar. He gets things done through us. He makes us worthy instruments. You know, the way Baba speaks to us in Murlis, the enormous patience he has, the time and energy which he invests in us, we should feel a lot of gratitude for him. We should always feel grateful for Baba, that he gives us so much scope. He never tries to put pressure on us. But in the field of service, we feel pressurized ourselves. Even at the workplace, Baba says, you are instrument, you are trustees. You have to do your best. What we need to do is, sometimes we say, okay, I should be doing service. But Baba has even made us even free from that. He says, if you do not have students, you can at least serve through the mind. Even if you are sick on the bed, don't feel heavy. You have the opportunity. I remember once I fell from a two-wheeler. We were doing service in Himachal Pradesh in the hills. And I fell down, I injured my back, and I was in bed for 6 weeks. I was touched by the letter which I received from Dadi ji. I didn't inform her, but she wrote a letter that since we belong to Baba, we should write to home what is happening to us. We should at least inform Madhuban that we are not well. So remember, these small things make such change in your outlook, that we have a family, extended family, so much support. It should give us a lot of reassurance. It should give us a lot of strength that we have such a large family. Wherever you go, wherever in any corner of the world, you have smiling faces to receive you. You have home to live, to enjoy Brahma Bhojan. We don't do that. We don't make any effort. He does it for us. He has reached to all corners of the world. So only thing to constantly remain light. Transfer all worries and concerns to him. Yes, we need to be available for service. We need to put in our best. We cannot be casual. We cannot be lazy. What Baba says, albelapan. We cannot be lethargic. But we need to be alert and attentive to what Baba says to us. We should be willing to surrender ourselves. We belong to Baba and we work for him. We are his Shaktis. We are his arms. So in that way, when we can remain light, and the other quality is surrender. Whatever happens, submit it to him. He is responsible. Suppose we have done a lot of effort, we have put in a big program and suddenly the rain comes and the whole show is spoiled. We feel, oh, we invested so much time and energy and this has happened. And we start worrying. But that resources but whose resources were those? Whose responsibility? There's always blessing in disguise. It might be, they say that whenever you lose, don't lose the lesson. Don't forget to learn the lesson from that defeat. That's very important. So surrender to the Supreme Father. We know the drama is eternal. Drama always has something good hidden in it. If you look at the Bhakti Marg, we did so much devotion. We went to such pilgrimage, to such places. But today we have the reward. Nothing has gone, although Baba says Bhakti is just like wandering. But Baba also says Bhakti brings us the fruit. It is through Bhakti that we get Gyan. We are able to understand Gyan better. Like those who are old-time Bhakt, they are now the first to come to Baba. So nothing goes waste. Every effort whichever we made brings something for us to learn, something for us to rejoice. So we need to surrender to Baba. Surrender means surrender from intellect. This Murli, I think it was last Murli, when Baba said that for anger, one of the biggest thing is the question why. Why this happened? I never realized earlier. This enlightened on me, this produced an understanding in me that one of the reason for anger is this question why. Resentment, we resent why he is doing this, why this is happening to me. Even in an illness like cancer, when the diagnosis is revealed to the patient, the first is why me? That's the shock which patient gets. So Baba says, no why, acceptance. That's what brings anger and resentment. So if we get rid of that why, Baba used to talk to double foreigners many times, why, not why, but fly. I never understood it. But this time I understood that this brings resentment within us. We get despair when we ask why. We get as if nothing right is happening for us. So once the why is removed, then probably we are not judgmental. We accept whatever is happening around us, happening to us, happening because of us. So we accept that. We are not judgmental. That is the real surrender. That we accept. Even if we are making effort, even if we are doing our best and something right is not happening, people get frustrated. But Baba makes us light. It goes to your account, whatever you have done for the service of others. So it's very important. The another thing which I feel, is remain constantly cheerful. We do need to understand that honesty with Baba, honesty with others, honesty with our own self, being true to our own self. As I shared that these days we try to pretend, because why do we try to pretend? We are trying to come to the expectations of others. We feel, okay, people expect us to do like this in this kind of situation. But if we are true to our own self, true to our nature is to be peaceful. Sometimes people feel that we need to use authority in such a situation. In such a situation, we need to do something like that. And it has been seen that, yes, when we are in distress, when we are in pain, we should express the need for help. We should not repress our emotions or use the repressive coping to overcome a situation. What they call, we need to pay attention. If there is pain in my neck, why is it happening? What are the cause? It may be some lack of sleep. It may be because of some stiff neck, or it could be because of someone irritating you. But then we need to address that cause. We need to really seek help. Suppose I am not able to resolve it myself. So that is what they call the ACE factor: attention, connection, and expressing the need for help. That's very important. The other thing which Baba tells us to write our daily chart or daily journal is very important. If we are able to share whatever traumatic experience which we are passing through, whatever difficulties we have in our personal life and our spiritual life, we need to really write it down. Even if we are not able to share with someone, it has been seen that people who write their difficult experiences, their traumatic experience, their tribulations, they feel more light. Their not only mental health but even the physical health improves, because you are able to get rid of that heaviness. And that's why whenever we write a letter to Baba, even if you keep it under your pillow, what happens? You feel light. Whenever you have shared it with anything with your seniors, you feel very light. So it's very important that we should share it with Baba. I share it with seniors if anything definitely is happening which is bothering us. And once we do that, then it makes us, light and happy. They call laughter is the best medicine. But laughter, with what kind of situation? People have even cured their illnesses with laughter. It does require courage. Courage is one quality which makes us think in a different way, in an innovative way and a creative way, not the regular, the run-of-the-mill fashion. That we break away from the tradition and do something different for addressing our problems. And that is what we call courage. And courage means that we are optimistic. Courage means we are able to see something positive within us and within others. So once we have the courage to change ourselves, sometimes it's very important that we need to look within and find, where did I go wrong? We need to reflect and then change. But it does require a lot of courage to accept that I went wrong. Sometimes we know we went wrong. There was some difficulty where I didn't use my wisdom. But then I need to accept that, accept within myself and change myself. It's very important. Baba has told us whatever our belief system is, whatever our attitude is, it does constantly bother us. So we need to really look within and see what our belief system needs to change. See, sometimes Baba has said to us, Muli, we feel, oh, this person would never change. The first thought which comes to us when we are listening to Baba, that, oh, this point is for this person. This point should be given to him. Because we are not looking within, we are looking outside. Where our locus of understanding is that if someone else changes, I would be more happy. So I need to understand that my happiness would come in sharing happiness. Being optimistic about others also, not only being optimistic about myself. Service is one thing which does bring us happiness. They say give until it hurts. You keep giving, but giving in an altruistic way. Giving not with a selfish motive. Even people who do the charity in the other way around, helping the poor, helping someone who's sick, they also get the mental benefit. What the psychologists call it, helper's high. It has been observed, people who help in an altruistic way, people who help others without any selfish motive, their immune system becomes strong. Their physical health also becomes good. That's why Baba has given us our 4 subjects: knowledge, that's understanding, then connecting with the Supreme, yoga, and then our values, changing our belief system, and service of others. These are our 4 subjects. Baba always tells us that we need to be the support system for the world, Adhar Murat. We are the foundation. So we also need to support each other in their journey. And when we support others, when we give happiness to others, happiness comes back to us. It's like depositing money in the bank. It may not come back to you immediately, but when you invest, the returns come to you. So doing service, sharing your happiness, sharing your resources, sharing your wisdom, sharing your enthusiasm. They say enthusiasm is also infective. If we are enthusiastic and happy, we would share our happiness with others. These days, the major illness which is emerging is depression. People have so much low self-esteem, and they feel that, okay, we have no purpose to live. The rate of suicides is going up. Why is it going up? Because people feel that there is nothing, no objective, no fulfillment in life. They feel vacuum within. They feel empty within. But Baba has given us so much enrichment. We have purpose to do something. We know what is our mission, what is our role on this world stage. We are all actors, but each one of us has very unique role to play. And that unique role does give us that strength. People get some responsibility and then they acquire the skills. There are some people who have skills and they get responsibility. Baba chooses every jewel, everyone according to his future. What Baba knows of our future. So each one of us has a very special role to play on this world drama. And once we are conscious of that role, we know what is our role, what we are supposed to do, what is expected of us. Baba always tells us, how can you sleep? You don't listen to the cries of bhaktas. They're seeking for their Supreme Father. So we should be always, that's why Baba says that we have responsibility to reach out to millions of people. And the time is always short for us to do. The task is enormous. So once we understand our roles, our responsibility in this world drama, how unique we are, how special we are, then we do understand that we have much to do. It's very important for us to understand that we are the support system for this world. We are the one who are going to nurture others, nourish others. We had recently, there was a flood in Karnataka. We sent our teams to there. There were many people who were distributing resources, food packets, clothes. But what made BK special was the way they were able to support them spiritually. People would come to us, even the authorities, the administration looked to us that you should counsel people. I went to a couple of places. People would come only to listen to sisters. The physical resources are so many. Physical infrastructure is growing fast. People are able to rescue fast. They're able to provide them relief in enormous way, but no one is able to support them. That we can only do. Even in the healthcare scenario, physical medicine is one part, but where is the human part? People are missing the touch, that healing touch. People feel that it is the one who listens the most is most successful. When I was working in a public hospital, the most important and the most frequent feedback which I used to receive, the doctor didn't listen to me. He just prescribed. Doctors are wise people. They can, always diagnose even by look of the patient, whether the patient has a serious problem or he has a simple cold. But the patient doesn't understand that. He needs to be listened to. He is calm. Many of the patients, they feel better when the doctor has listened to them. We have to be good listeners also. So it's very important that we understand the expectations of others. We need to really know what do people expect from us. Baba has shared with us many times, if someone is thirsty and if we give him food, he'll not feel satisfied. If he's thirsty, he needs water. He doesn't need food. If someone is looking for contentment or someone is looking for power to face, we need to give him that power. We need to serve through our own virtues and our own powers to people. Because, everyone has different expectation. Even in the family, each member of the family has different expectation from the head of the family. Each soul has its own way of looking at things. So Baba says that we have to be looking at the expectations of other holistic way. To stay cheerful, to stay happy, we do need to understand that we are these instruments of service. We need to serve millions of people. But it is very important, one of the important aspects is the self-care. Baba says, if we do not have those treasures of power and values, how would we be able to share ourselves? Even in the physical form, self-care is very important. If we are not well rested, if we do not have good sleep, if we do not have good nutrition, whether we would be able to stay cheerful? No. We need to take care of those physical factors also. One of the important thing is that we need to be physically active. People have studied exercise. They feel that exercise also produces certain chemicals in the body, endorphins and norepinephrine and serotonins, these things which make us happy. So doing regular exercise and looking after our own self, taking the right kind of diet, and Baba adds to it, taking the food in the right type of consciousness, in the remembrance of the Supreme. That also changes the nourishment which we get from food. The digestion of the food and the assimilation in the circulatory system depends upon our consciousness. That's why they call hurry, curry and worry. If we are always in the rush of work, even when we are eating, we are multitasking. And sometimes we might be looking at the newspaper, looking at our watch, and also eating, and thinking that how many telephone calls I have to make. So that kind of rush, that's why Baba made us simple, that we need to take food in remembrance of Baba. In that consciousness, like Baba told us, Baba shared with us that we need to practice the incorporeal stage and the stage of Farishta, the stage of angelic consciousness 12 times during the day. How would we find time? This is the time when we can find time, at the time when we are not using our mind, whether taking food or whether taking a bath or whether walking. Baba always gives us the example of the Christian priests that when they walk in silence. So there's so much opportunity for self-care. If we are strong within, if we are fulfilled within, we'll be able to stay cheerful and happy. Happiness does come from fulfillment. If we are nourished properly, if we are strong physically and mentally, we'll be able to stay happy. But it's very important to understand, even if we are not physically well, but if we are mentally and spiritually strong, we can still stay happy. I have seen even in the Lokik world people who had debilitating illnesses. I used to know a friend who had ankylosing spondylitis. He was on a stretcher. The only thing mobile was his hands. Rest everything was stiff. All the joints were stiff. He could move out only on a stretcher. He couldn't even sit on a wheelchair. But even then he used to run schools for slum children, would write poetry, paint, write inspiring letters. He was able to spend his time in a worthwhile way. But physical health is important. We should not neglect it. But the foundation for happiness comes from our mental and spiritual health. We need to be mentally strong. We need to work on our own self. What we call determination or willpower is very important. That we look at our habits, we look at our nature, and consciously make effort to make it more positive. An effort has to be there. See, we know the law of action, the law of karma. Karma philosophy we have understood well. That if we do good, good would come back to us. But also Baba says that these days he has been talking to us in Murli. One of the Hindi words he uses, achanak. The other is ever ready. And the third is bahut samay ka. Achanak is sudden. Anything can happen anytime. And the second is ever ready. We need to be ever ready to face any situation. And there is long time effort. A continuous effort, a sustained effort. Because this is how we can change our way of thinking. If we start staying positive for a long time, then it would become our nature. Although the psychologists think in a different way. People always say habits die hard. You cannot change your habits. But now we do understand that even our hardest of sanskars, we can change. But we need to work on it. Work on our own self. One of the best remedies which Baba always tells us, be in the bodiless stage and remember Supreme Father. That's what Baba says. Because when we are in the incorporeal stage, we are connected to that Supreme Father, who's the seed. Once you get connected to that seed, that powerhouse, what happens? We feel energized. So we need to stay connected with Him. And it is like we are constant effort makers. So why can't we become constant cheerful? If there is a continuous process of change, if there is a sustained effort, we would be able to stay in that stage for sustained length of time also. But it has to be sustained, it has to be continuous. This is the only university in the world which is open on Sundays also. All the universities have holiday. All the schools have vacations. When we listen to Baba's stories, on 18th of January itself, when Baba left this body, he gave the class, although he didn't give Murli in the morning hours, but he came back in the evening, addressed the children, and then went to his room and took leave. So, Baba knows that the effort has to be continuous, has to be for long time, because we are carrying the burden of so many births. And this is the time when the reward is maximum. This is the time when we can reap the fruit. We have to be all-rounders also. Baba says not only service, not only just meditation, not only just focusing on values, but all the 4 subjects we have to pass. We can even avoid sickness by staying happy and cheerful, because happiness has healing effect. People have researched it. Even Baba sometimes says in Murli that khushi jaisi khurak nahi and chinta jaisa rog nahi. Happiness is the best nourishment. An unhappy person even breaks his bones. But Baba says you should have constantly busy. They say, idle mind is devil's workshop. That's why Baba says you give program to your own self. Like you plan for your physical activity, do plan for your spiritual progress also. What is the plan for this week? What value I am going to focus? What theme of self-respect I am going to choose for practicing? So we need to remain constantly. This is a constant working on our own self. The research which we did on heart patients, we didn't do any magic. We just told them that you need to regularly exercise, you need to regularly take care of your diet and regularly meditate. And what we found out, the improvement in their heart disease was proportionate to the amount of adherence which they gave to this program. If they adhered 50%, the improvement was 50%. If they adhered 60%, the improvement was 60%. So it's like the direct relationship is there. So if we adhere fully to our discipline, and that's what one of the dictionary meaning of cheerfulness was, willing, being obedient. So if we are obedient to Baba, if we are following the Shrimat, not as per the situation, but as per the direction given by Baba, not mixing any thoughts, say, okay, I do it this way. So willingness, and that too also. Baba once said that, it is your consciousness which makes all the difference. Baba has been saying us that you should be able to serve through the sparkle on your face. In the last Murli said that you should feel as if there is a lamp on your forehead. There's a light on your forehead. You should experience that. That means that all the time we need to constantly be aware of it. What is my stage? Where have I reached? And what is my goal? If I keep that in mind, when I sit in remembrance of Baba, the experience is light, being happy. When we get after the meditation, if we feel heavy, if we feel tired, did we have good meditation? But if we, after the meditation, that half an hour or 15 minutes which we spend, if we feel light and happy. Once a cardiologist was telling, they use propranolol, which is the tablet Indrol, for lowering your heart rate and decreasing your oxygen requirement. He says 15 minutes meditation is equal to 1 tablet of Indrol. You don't need to take medicine. But meditation should make you light and happy. People, even when people are going for any speaking assignment or appearing examination, they take a pill of propranolol, Indrol, that takes away their anxiety and palpitation. So meditation, remembrance of the Supreme Father, connects it, staying connected is very important to us. That's why we have hourly music, we have traffic control, we have morning Amrit Vela. All these disciplines are to increase our proficiency in remembrance. The more proficient we become in remembrance, the more proficient we become also doing service through the mind. That is one of our foundation. Yes, certain unpleasant situations do happen to us. Someone may not be just and fair to us. Someone may cause hurt to us. But then Baba says, accept his role, forgive him. Forgiveness is also another quality. Forgive from the heart. Baba says, if anyone is doing something wrong, you should have compassion for him, not any kind of resentment for him. We need to be merciful. These are the things which we need regularly. Yes, it does require reflecting within, that what is the value which I need to use at this particular time. And the student life, every situation, this whole world is classroom for us. We are all godly students. Every situation has a learning lesson for us. If we move in that consciousness, okay, this has happened, what was the lesson I need to pick up from this? That's the beauty when I see everyone seriously listening to Murli when Baba is talking to us, and we make notes and then we churn on the notes. And the notes which we take, they are in short form. I was talking to one of my friends. He said not only whenever he reads Murli, he takes notes. These days the gadgets are, the telephones have recording system. So what he does is he records his own voice, those Murli points in the telephone, cell phone, and then whenever he has time, he listens to them. So we can have so many yuktis to keep ourselves connected. We have, Baba says, last Murli, Baba said, science has created resources for us. Science is able to help in God's work. So we can use science for our own interest also. Science does support us. Like whatever we think, it reflects on our face. That's how they call face is the index of mind. The aura around us. The aura also gives you happiness. When you meet someone who's positive, powerful, even in the Lokic world, if you meet a person who's happy and cheerful, you would remember his face for a long time. Even if you meet him after years, you would still have good memories about him. But if someone is in ordinary consciousness, we may not even notice him. So Baba feels that we should become embodiment of knowledge. And once we become embodiment of knowledge, we, we become combined with Him. We become the lighthouse and we dispel the darkness around. What happens? Everyone makes notice, oh, this is special, sparkling soul. No one would miss us, and no one would miss Baba's message. And that's our purpose in life. That not only we do Baba's service, but we also become messengers for Baba. Baba has brought us on the stage. Now everyone tells us that you are special people. But now we need to tell the world who has made us special. That is our responsibility, that we need to manifest Baba through our actions. We have to glorify Baba through our actions. And I'm sure staying cheerful would be one step forward in glorifying Baba. And we all are cheerful. Even the cursory visitors who come to Madhuban or Gyan Sarovar, they always can feel the difference when they feel smiling faces all around. But what is more important for us is to be constantly cheerful. Om Shanti. Thank you. We can have meditation for next 20 minutes.